Hello, students. This is the video lecture syllabus quiz for JMS 494 for spring 2024 semester. Okay, JMS 494, Media Law and Ethics for spring 2024. Now, before I share my screen and go over the basic policies of the class, oh, and there are questions embedded in this, okay? So you do need to watch this to get the points. But before I share my screen and start going over that, I just want to give kind of an overview of the class. The title seems pretty self-explanatory, Media Law and Ethics, but there's actually a lot to it. If you are majoring in something in the school of JMS, that's journalism, advertising, public relations, or media studies, this is a required course, so you have to take it. So to the question of why is this important? Well, because it's required, okay? But for the rest of y'all, I think you're probably in the digital and social media minor, and it's also a required class for that as well. But the topic is actually pretty complex. There's a lot of different laws and regulations that deal with the media industries, and I use media industries as a plural because there's not one thing that is the media. If you want to work in one of these areas, you need to know what the laws are so that you don't do something wrong and get yourself in trouble, because you definitely don't want that. Certainly not when you're new and aspiring and hoping to get a bigger career. So there's that aspect of it, of like legally what you can do, and there's no way we can go into all the finer details of things, and then the laws also vary by state. But I'm going to kind of cover sort of a lot of icebergs, tip of the icebergs, just some sort of general things that you should know about. But we're also going to explore the world of ethics. Ethics relates to things that maybe you should do, or what is the preferred optimum way to act. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right. And if you're working in one of the media industries, maybe you have some information, and just because you have that information, maybe you've legally obtained it, maybe there's no law against broadcasting or transmitting it, but ethically it could be wrong, you know, ethically it could be wrong. So we're going to kind of explore some of those issues as well. The first main policy is please email your instructor. In some cases, that's me. If you are in another section, perhaps it's Professor Krooming, email your instructor through Canvas inbox, okay? It is just infinitely easier for us to organize the mass of student emails that we get, the tsunami of information. It's easier to organize if you use Canvas inbox. Just trust me on this. It's a lot easier. The deadline for everything is Wednesday, 11:59 p.m., which also means the end of the day Wednesday. This is the day before the class meets face-to-face. If you're watching this video, you are in one of the sections that meets on a Thursday. So the point is, have everything for the week done before you show up in class. This will make for a better class discussion and a better overall class experience. So the deadline for everything is Wednesday, 11:59, the day before the class meets. Grading. There are video lectures. This is an example of one right here. It's worth 25% of the grade. Packback. I'm going to explain Packback in a minute. Packback is the fancy name for the discussion board that we are using. There's going to be 13 different packback opportunities throughout the semester. I only count 11, and I'm going to explain in a moment what you need to do to get full credit for the packback. There is participation. See the rubric in the syllabus. I don't expect you simply to show up, actually have to participate, be engaged, have an opinion, etc., etc. There are 3 exams. The lowest exam grade is dropped. We do the exams in the face-to-face. We're not doing these online. You actually come to class. We're using GradeScope to actually take the exams in the face-to-face meeting. And then there is a final paper that is worth 17% of your grade. And then there's something called SONA. I expect if you've taken JMS classes before, you are familiar with SONA. I'm assuming you are familiar with SONA, but I will explain that as well. 3% of the grade. This is the textbook, Traeger's The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication, 8th edition. It is the 8th edition that we are using. If you've opted into equitable access, you have access to the textbook. Okay. If you are in equitable access, you have access to this textbook. If you're not in equitable access, you'll have to find this textbook, however, wherever, whatever. But if you're not in equitable access, this is the textbook you need to get. What about these video lectures? First thing is look in the bottom corner right here, that little CC for closed captioning. If the words are not automatically displaying as I'm talking and you would prefer that, you can actually click CC. I make sure that all the video lectures that I post for my classes have closed captioning as an option. I find it easier to watch any movie and TV show with closed captioning. I just find it easier. Just letting you know that if the words aren't there, click that little CC button and they will show up. I also post a Word document to go along with every video lecture. These are the basic bullet points, the basic information, so that when you're watching the video lecture, you don't have to like try and transcribe everything. You can just take notes and add them on to the Word document that I already give you. Okay. And on Canvas, when I post the Word document, it's available in an alternative format. You can actually, if you click the audio version, sort of this computerized AI does this with that robotic voice, will actually read you the lecture notes as an MP3, just letting you know that that option is there. I try and make the class as accessible as I can. Exams. Okay, we got 3 exams, multiple choice. There will be a study guide posted, so it's no secret as to the material that you're going to be tested on. You're allowed to bring in 1 page of handwritten notes, and it's your handwriting. If you can read it, if you want to write minuscule 6 or 8-point font and you can read it, that's fine. We're talking about a normal 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You can write front and back, okay? But I do want these to be handwritten notes that you created, and I think it's enormously helpful. And then you could bring that in, and when you take the exam, you don't have to stress out because you've got all the information already written out for you. Okay. The dates in the syllabus. Okay, what is this thing called Packback? Packback is a kind of discussion board. If you have paid or opted into equitable access, you already have access to Packback. Again, if you've opted in to equitable access, you will automatically have access to Packback. If you are not in equitable access, then you're going to have to sign up for a subscription. Not sure what the cost is, but I think it's pretty economical. You will need it to get these points for this part of the semester. Okay, like with the video lectures, the deadline for Packback is a Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. This is the day before you meet. If you're watching this video, you're in one of the Thursday sections, so you need to have this activity done before you come to class for the week. You need to post a question on the class discussion board. Again, it's called Packback. Post a question, and then you respond to 2 other questions from your classmates. So you post 1 question, and then you respond to 2 other questions. Everything you post must get a minimum curiosity score of 50. A question won't meet that if you ask it's a bad question, if it's a yes or no question, or if it's a very simple question like what time is the exam. That's not going to get you the points. You need to write 2 or 3 sentences, come up with something that's a good, meaningful question. And your responses also have to get a curiosity score of 50. Now, the system will tell you, it'll actually display what your curiosity score is. So if you write a question and it comes out to be a curiosity score of 38 or 42, you actually do have the opportunity to revise it to make sure that you get all the points. And if you need help, please email this company right here. Packback is separate. It's not me. It's not SDSU, but that is in the syllabus if you have some sort of Packback issue. If you have signed up for equitable access, you have access to Packback. If you are not in equitable access, I repeat, if you're not in equitable access, you will need to pay for a subscription to Packback to get you through the semester. I don't know what the cost is. It's not much. But you know, if you're in equitable access, you have Packback. If you're not in equitable access, you do need to pay for a subscription to Packback. For the final paper, and this is loose parameter, if you want to do something outside of it, we're pretty understanding. But in general, pick a topic from within the past 5 years that deals with freedom of expression and relates to freedom of expression, maybe in one of the media industries. It could be something from news or entertainment or advertising, but a current or a semi-current event that relates to freedom of expression. Maybe there was a lawsuit, legal actions taken. You could also pick something from another country, maybe protests in Iran about hijab, or protests about music in another country, and maybe compare, like, this other country doesn't have the First Amendment. How would that situation be different? So you could do something international, or you could do something current from the United States and kind of analyze that using some of the material that you have learned in class. The one topic that I don't want is Brandy Levy, the student who posted something vulgar on Snapchat, and her case went all the way to the Supreme Court. She was a cheerleader who said F the school, if you know what I mean. Um, I've read too many papers on that, so I don't want to Brandy Levy Snapchat vulgarity, but you can pick something else and analyze that if you would like. And Sona, if you've gotten this far in JMS, you probably know Sona, but just for those of you who maybe don't, Sona is a way to organize human subjects to conduct research. I have colleagues, other professors, or maybe graduate students who are doing studies and they want to get people's opinions on a topic. What is your opinion on smoking? What is your opinion on Israel Hamas? What is your opinion on this? Or maybe you watch a video and answer questions about that. Um, Rather than spamming the whole class saying, hey, please do this research survey, we've kind of organized it into a system called Sona. You will create an account on Sona. Then you are emailed throughout the semester about research opportunities that are there. And then you do the research opportunity and you say, hey, I want this credit to count for JMS 494. There's a certain amount of Sona credit that is required. And it's a really small part of the grade, like 3% of the grade. It's not a big deal. But do take a look at the syllabus and the Sona assignment. If this is new to you, please take a look at Sona. And this is something that goes on throughout the semester. That's it. And we're off.